Alright, let's just get into it, shall we? So, Sultai Reclamation here. We had played this once before in Pioneer, and it felt pretty reasonable. I think in a world where Inverter is one of the more played decks, I actually think this deck's pretty reasonable. We've got Thassa's Intervention, Sinister Sabotage, and Nimble Obstructionist here as interaction for their triggers. Trophy can kill Jason in response to its activation. We've got some Frilled Mystics here. We've got some Scarab Gods to have a little bit of closing power at the top. So hopefully this one is not a disappointment second time through. Last time we played it had a lot of really sweet games, and I just enjoyed myself a good deal. So let's see how it does on the second round. Hey, we had a couple of resubs there. Knight, thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Before Punchworthy, we had BJ Roth's. Ads are a good reminder. Resub. They get your thing for adventures. I don't know. Let me check. Probably. Yep, looks like it. Can you, the link's the one in the queue, right? So, when I'm offline, I still get the bits, but I don't get the message attached to the bits, because Twitch is Twitch. Spiral, thanks for the 5 months. Welcome back. Yeah, this hand's great. 3 lands, Growth Spiral, Wilderness Reclamation. Sign me up. Yeah, Marty, I'm down for most things in Historic at the moment. Format's new enough, but I don't really have a good grip on like what's good or bad to reject a whole heck of a lot. Omen of the Sea, Omen of the Sea, do 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 do. I have 2 different contractors, one of which showed up early, and the other one showed up on time, that are supposed to be getting me quotes for the next week, and they both said that they could almost certainly have the work done before June. So here's hoping that one of them works out. Let's see what the pricing is and what they suggest for sound baffling. So hoping to draw a 4th land in our next 2 draws here. Alright, green source would be ideal. Yikes. I guess we just pass, huh? Hopefully they Field of Runa so we get to Stone Rain them. My morning was sad. I didn't know what to do. I ended up working and it felt so odd. Yeah, thankfully the construction work that got done ended up happening faster than they expected. They could just be sacking Omen of the Sea here to scry 2. They are fielding me. Sweet. I would like to draw a card and Stone Rain you. Getcha. So, Nimble Obstructionist, just like 3-1 beater, also does things like this. Also, what's the word I'm searching for? Also, can counter inverters into the battlefield trigger. I mean, I do like drawing cards, Percy. It is one of my favorites. I'm not just jamming the Wilderness Reclamation here. I think I'd rather just hold up Frilled Mystic. I think there's a good chance that, like, they're playing blue-white control here, looks like. So, high probability they just have a counterspell if I try and jam Reclamation. So, pretty low upside play overall. Yeah, if you stifle the inverter trigger, they just get a 6/6 flyer for 4. You know, no big. Get some ramp in your diet. Sounds good, Marty. Sideboard have extra threats for this matchup. I guess Courser kind of counts. I've got Dispute and Negate at least. Like 6-ish cards to bring in. Intervention's a good pickup. If they don't give us something to counter next turn, I'm going to draw 2 with Intervention for sure, I think. Just, like, try and guarantee our land drops here. I had someone donate for a Bogle's deck post update already. When might you estimate you'll get to your historic stuff? We're doing 1 historic deck per day until the new cards drop on the 12th. And then once the new cards drop on the 12th, we'll be upping it to 2 historic decks per day. So however many spots it is down in the queue. And then you can estimate days out. It's not a strict estimate because people obviously do bump and cut things here and there. But it'll give you a, okay, rough estimate thereabouts. All right, so what if I just do this? Oh, you mean today on stream? Yeah, usually each deck's somewhere between 90 minutes and 2 hours. 60 minutes to 2 hours. Moto decks tend to go a little bit longer. We're casting dig through time. So because I have both Trophy and Abrupt Decay, I'm just gonna go ahead and sabotage this. I think I'm gonna bin the extra Abrupt Decay. I don't think I need another one of those. Hopefully they don't have like 2 Tefris. I don't know, I get to decay the first Teferi and then have like a counterspell for the second. Although I guess I don't currently have triple green, so I actually can't decay and still cast Frilled Mystic in a turn. Could be relevant. So I expect we'll see them stick some kind of threat here, but we should be able to answer most things. So I'll get to play Reclamation, and then if Reclamation resolves, I'll have enough green sources to Trophy plus Frilled Mystic, and if Reclamation doesn't resolve, Trophy will then resolve. So it works out pretty okay for us regardless, I think. So if they have a follow-up 5-mana Teferi, could be in a little bit of trouble. I'll generate a lot of card advantage for them. They did Eternal Witness. I had one come yesterday, and I had a different one come 2 days ago. So I expect it'll take them a hot second to put an estimate together. What's going on, Gazi? Happy Friday. So they took Azuria's Charm. Wouldn't be surprised to see this get charmed. I think if that happens, I just go ahead and try and fight over it. I think I would like to. Do I fight over it? So I could just let this happen and then Abrupt Decay Narset, but I think I'd rather save Decay for for a 3-mana Teferi, because that card really puts a damper in our style. Hey, Beard Hug. Thank you for the entire year of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Get you a sword to go with that shield. Cycling Sensor, sure. Are you taking an extended leave from streaming? No. I'll probably be taking at least a week off, but how long exactly is going to be dictated by what Christie's recovery looks like. Like, when kids are like just born, they're super low maintenance. So like, as soon as Christie's feeling able to like take over the majority of the parenting duties for the new child, I'll probably pick back up my schedule. I don't know that I'll jump back into doing like 40 hours a week right away, but definitely some amount fairly quickly right after. This is a job where, like, you know, if I take the weekend off, you know, I lose 10% of my subscribers over the weekend because of the way Twitch Prime works. This job has a lot of benefits to it. PTO is not one of them. It's just finally warm enough that I like don't need to be running a space heater and wear a sweater in my office. So Scarab God here can exile cards from graveyards to create tokens. So this is technically, like, this is card disadvantage for them, except they'll probably be able to counter on the way back down. Yeah, this definitely will not be a me streaming while taking care of a small child again. Back when I was doing that when this first started, that was because this was just a hobby I was doing because the kids were easy when they're little. As long as this pays me like a job, I intend to treat it like a job. Is my plans. I think we just YOLO this back down. So they get to make a castle token here, but they're down to 1 card in hand. Yeah, in fact, they're just like making a castle token here. It's really good for us. We've got a Frilled Mystic, a Brazen Borrower, and a Nimble Obstructionist in our graveyard. So if we get to untap with the Scarab God, we have a we have just like an uncounterable Frilled Mystic on demand. This costs 4 to activate. Yep. Sphinx is rep for 5. Okay, we have a game, as they say. Yeah, it's almost, Marty, it's almost like Magic players are incredibly bad at guesstimating what's going to be good or not. It's almost like they're bad at evaluating cards in the context of formats they haven't played. To go out on a limb. So they're casting Cast Out. I'm going to put a Frilled Mystic into play and counter it. So this exiles a card from my bin. Do they have a Stifle? They have like a Disallow here? They're drawing a card in response, sure. And, like, if they have a sweeper, they, like, get to clean my board out. But again, like, after they clean my board out, I like, get the Scarab God back to my hand. I really need to draw some more lands. This deck is, we're definitely currently in the 26 lands later story. And they're plussing on here, so I assume that means they don't have a way to take it off the table again. Would love for our next 2 draws to be green sources. How long have I been streaming for? Like today or like in general? Hey, Shiny Psyduck, thanks for 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. We are in match 1, game 1. Yikes. Yikes. 26 lands later, chat. So Teferi Fun Raveler here is going to bounce our Frilled Mystic token. So that's just gone. Really want to draw a green source here. Perfect. So we get to shock this in. The green source. Yeah, so the power company sent me... I tweeted and posted on the subs Discord. The power company sent me... gave me a phone call yesterday telling us that we were going to be without power for up to 2 hours this morning. It was like right in the middle of my morning segment. The power went out at like 9 o'clock. Rat Racer, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. So Scarab God currently has damage it would deal prevented, so we're just going to pass here. So this game can still go in either player's favor here. Worth noting here that my opponent's down 3 minutes on clock at the moment. As a millennial, how did you keep your sanity without electricity? Well, you see, my cell phone has internet. So I made sure my phone was charged. Alright, let's try and draw some lands, huh? Yeah, you charge your phone in the car too. Ain't that the truth? Fetid Pools cycles, but I actually just like want to put actual lands into play. Pretty sure. 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is my 8th land. I think if they counter this, I just let this happen because I have another Scarab God in my hand. My plan is like end step, Obstructionist, untap, play another Scarab God. I did have raid auto battle, multi-battles going while I did the dishes. Set up the potion dungeon and told it to go. Yep, and the next guy gets set up to get a... Well, there's not a Frilled Mystic in the bin just yet, right? Yeah, not... There's one in my hand, but not my bin. Alright. Gotta try and stop that one. Could lose this game. We have a dig through time here. Maybe just sabotage their own, sure. But 5-mana Teferi also. Yep. They forget to use their Gideon. It's real good for us. Do you have a counter spell? A counter spell? A counter spell? They didn't have a counter spell. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. So they're trying to tuck this into my deck. What if I exile this Scarab God in response, and then this one will die to the legend rule and come back to my hand? Hey, thank you for the very generous tier 3 resub, Terran Terror. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You whip up standard green-red aggro. You definitely can. Phyrexian Fox, thank you for the 26 months. Welcome back. The entire Gatewatch. I mean, to be fair, 2 of them are the same Gatewatch. What happened to the red-black aristocrat deck on the standard page? It felt kind of bad the last time we played it, so I took it down off of there. I regularly update the decks on there, and if they don't feel reasonable, I take them down. That's a good thought. I could have Obstructionist to draw on a card. Because I didn't think about it, because that's an activated ability. I had a cute play available to me. I wasn't thinking about that being an activated ability. It's a good thought. I have no idea what that entails, Cody. Ha! He triggers on himself. That's great. That's wonderful. Okay, this is a decent pickup. So this... So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 10. So I get to go ahead and say, do this, bounce. Well, I can bounce the Dream Trawler. They'll discard to protect it. Will Scarab God kill their Time Raveler? They just let it happen. Okay, sweet. Start slowly killing the Gatewatch here. Dragon Tamer, thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. If they go to activate the castle here, we'll cycle the Obstructionist to counter it. That's super unfortunate. You get counterspelled and feel bad now. Hey, No Life, thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. They have 3 cards in hand, one of which is a Dream Trawler. That just resolved, huh? Okay, do I just hold up Nimble Obstructionist cycle here? Do I need to hold up Nimble Obstructionist cycle here? I think I want to just commit Brazen Borrower to the table. Let's say go. Reading the deck curate, Dread is getting played on Monday. Yeah, assuming there's no other cuts, it'll be on Monday. Feels 3 mana to every man. Cats are dogs. Dogs not close. I don't have any pets at this point in my life, though. I grew up with dogs, though. Chad hit plus on the God token. I don't remember. Yeah, the power company sent out a message that they needed to do work on a transformer, and they needed to turn off power to a group of houses that were attached to that transformer for safety reasons. So they elected not to replay their Dream Trawlers. I kind of assume they have a counterspell here. You know what? I should probably hold that land because of this Gaia Reach Sanitarium. This game is done. I'm pretty sure we can't win at this point. I'm mostly just dealing clock damage. My opponent is down 4, almost 5 minutes on clock. Just like hoping we have a long... hoping I win a game 2, we have a long game 3. And we win from there. I mean, I think 3-mana Teferi should be banned in every format that is legal. I think the card is absolutely rancid. What's going on, Ruxbox? Yeah, and I plan to run late today to make up for it too. So we're still going to do the same number of hours. We just shifted my schedule. We'll see how much of this league we get through. Feel like there's a pretty good chance we don't play all 5 matches in this league. Yes, that is true. At the present rate, we might not even have to win the second game. If the second game takes this long as well, I won't have to win the second game. Yeah, if they run out of clock in game 2, we win. No, we didn't play Kiki this morning, Timor. Nobody added Kiki to the queue. I put it in with a small number of points. I've got a giant backlog of Pioneer stuff to get to in the meantime. As always, the answer to the question is use the form. If they take as long to win game 2 as they took to win this game, we'll time them out. I'm just casting spells to eat their clock. Casting spells makes them pass priority. Yes, please take game actions. All of the game actions belong to you. I'm excited to lose game 2 while they have 45 seconds on the clock. Yeah, the Red Black Titan deck's really good. Mid-range decks are fun. In my opinion, Magic formats where mid-range decks are competitive are significantly more fun than Magic formats where mid-range decks are not competitive. Alright, what are we doing? I think Growth Spiral actually probably trims here. I probably don't mind trimming a Reclamation as well. I think I want to board in a couple of Coursers to generate card advantage. Help us hit some lands. Seems good. Not to beat, no, I'm not even gonna say not to beat a dead horse, but just to like slightly beat a dead horse for a moment. The number of people who are still like, Warren shouldn't have dropped out before Super Tuesday and she had a realistic shot at doing it. Y'all need reality checks. Y'all need some help. Like I don't understand how people are just so devoid from reality. Like, she was projected to do poorly in the first 3 states, or the first 4 states, then she did poorly there, then she was projected to continue to do poorly, and she continued to do poorly like projected. So okay, so my land sequencing here was bad, by the way. Should have done this on 1, to this on 2, to Growth Spiral this on 3. So my land sequencing here was just a steaming pile of crap. Pegasus Q, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Yeah, I feel just like just like my start would have been way better if I'd have played this on 2, obviously. Just like people's bias towards their candidate of choice is just like really unreal. And thanks for the brand new Prime Pegasus. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Nice, Shine. Alright, we're hitting some land drops here. I just stick this Reclamation, right? Because unless they have veto or double counterspell, it resolves. Sick. And it should just be a whole different ball game since we have Reclamation down now. Sorceress Spyglass. Yeah, sure. Now, just as a short how magic works lesson, Sorcerer's Spyglass is not an enter the battlefield trigger. It is what we refer to as a replacement effect as it enters the battlefield. So I am not able to Nimble Obstructionist Sorcerer's Spyglass's interplay effect. That's not a legal play. I'm going to end step Brazen Borrower here. Actually, I think we're going to end step bounce this, play Brazen Borrower. They're still naming. They named the Scarab God, as expected. Red Winter, thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. And it's not even that I care about this or plan to counter it later. It's just, I might as well spend my mana. The downside to making this play is if they have a veto, they could veto my Petty Theft, and now they could censor the actual borrower. But, like, if they're censoring the borrower, I think that's a fine exchange for me. Can Spyglass turn off cycling on Nimble Obstructionist? I don't believe so, but I'm actually not 100% on that. And I think I'd rather just hold Intervention here. It can, sure. It's technically optimal to float mana at the end of my turn, just in case they do something at my end step here. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Magic Online shortcut there is a button you can hold on your keyboard to automatically use the first mana for each of your things. So that's how I tapped all my lands very quickly with a single click there. That's one of the many features from Magic Online. Magic Arena would be well served to copy and implement. I'm just going to go ahead and let this resolve, and I think I'm actually going to go ahead and Nimble Obstructionist its down tick trigger. Oh, they're just not down ticking her. Are they? They're not? Okay, so they just want to get this out of the way, I suppose. They could have Supreme Verdict in their hand. They just want to get a 2-for-1 out of it. Although I guess it's basically a 2-for-2, right? Because like they're essentially trading their Narset and their Supreme Verdict for like my Borrower and my Obstructionist. Seems like a fine exchange for me. And again, just like this game taking time is a win for me, because like my opponent has less than 8 minutes on their clock. I have almost 13 minutes on mine. So like every game action the opponent takes that's not directly winning them the game is very, very good for me. Yeah, I basically just gotta make sure they don't stick a Dream Trawler, and we should be pretty good to go. Why aren't I attacking with Lumbering Falls? Because I'm stupid. It's a great suggestion. They should be what? Three or 6 points lower here. Yeah, we have Sugarcoat around here. I just missed that. This is like totes untapping with the Reclamation here. Sign me up. For lengthening the game, something like that. No, I should definitely try and win this game. Like, if they have to start a third game with even less time on their clock, that's also good for me. So, like, I'm not trying to not win, but I'm also, like, just trying to not lose as well. Yeah, Creature Land is Reclamation this week, for sure. Hey, Aaron, thank you for the 47 months. You will soon be the next holder of a Hooglandia castle. Thanks for keeping me around. Oh, feels Magic 2020, man. Feels Magic 2020. Ugh. I'm gonna dispute their dispute, so this way they can't Field of Ruin my Lumbering Falls. Yeah, if they field Lumbering Falls and you activate it in response, it gains Hexproof. So, best draw on our deck is Abrupt Decay. Hey, Tokyo Whirlwind, thanks for the 4 months. Alright, so I think the play to win line here is draw 2 with this to try and find Decay or Trophy. So that doesn't win the game, but it gets us back into a spot where, like, we're likely just not dead. Again, this is still very winnable for them if they just, like, have Dream Trawler. Hey, Jedi Camper, thank you for the 2 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Even if they have, like, a veto or a counterspell here, I get to play Nimble Obstructionist, which wouldn't be terrible. Yeah, that just happened. Hopefully they don't have a land here. I don't remember if they played a land yet. If they can't activate... well... Maybe I was expecting that to just uptick. Maybe I was supposed to cycle and counter that. I don't actually know. I'm kind of taken aback. I just assumed they were gonna... I just kind of assumed they were gonna draw a card. I think I was supposed to counter that with the Nimble Obstructionist. I don't know. Could go either way. I was like expecting them to draw, and then I'd flash this in and fire this up and hit Teferi for 6. No, yeah, Heliod's a creature on this deck. Heliod's check for devotion to make it not a creature only happens while it's in play. Okay, so they have Absorb and one other card in their hand now. They're shuffling away my Wilderness Reclamation. That's fine. This is, cards like Field of Ruin are actually why we have basics in our deck, even though... why we have basics in my deck, even though I don't have any, like, Fabled Passage or anything like that. You don't just want, like, 0 basics or things like that to Stone Rain you. Sabotage is a great pickup here. I'm gonna go ahead and just play this out, just in case. We'd really love to draw, like, a Dig Through Time. Dig Through Time or Thassa's Intervention, a way to, like, generate some real card advantage here. So we can, pull ahead while we're a little bit ahead. So we're, like, a very small edge in this game right now. Ever so small. They have Absorb in their hand too, though, so, like, when they draw a threat eventually, they're gonna get to force it through. It is an Invasion Absorb, yep. Well, I mean, Dispel's not legal in this format, so... So, unfortunately... they have an Absorb, so, like, that's not going to resolve, but I can draw it and then draw something else eventually. Them hitting their third white source there is actually a pretty big deal, because the third white source means they can start activating Castle while also still holding Absorb up. Dispel is legal. It is, isn't it? Yeah, you're right. You're right, it is legal. It doesn't see much play though, right? Like that effect's not very good. Yeah, chat is correct. I am wrong. Dispel is indeed legal in this format. I don't think it's very good. It doesn't see a lot of play in my experience. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that card cast. There's so many planeswalkers now that like Spell Pierce and Mystic Dispute just are a lot better, right? Like in traditional control mirrors where the only card that matters isn't 3 mana Teferi. No, it's not even about veto. It's about the fact that the only card that matters in these control mirrors now is Teferi. That's what's different. All right, they're down to 2 here. Hopefully they activate this castle, and then we get to dig through time. Ideally, unless you want to target it with both, you should target the thing you really want to get rid of with the copy, because what's the word I'm searching for? Because you should target the one you actually want to get rid of with the copy, because that way if they counter to save their thing, you still go on an adventure. Alright, if they have 2 counter spells here, or what's it called? They have 2 counter spells, or a veto, that's whatever. They only have 3 cards in their hand, we know one's absorb. I have intervention for the absorb. Get to play around dispute here. This is counter unless they pay twice X. If Dig resolves here, we should be in a very good spot to win this game. And if we win this game, we're very likely to win the match. They only have 4 minutes on their clock. Hey, dig into dig, chat. Dig into dig. I don't want to just cast Dig Through Time again right now, because if I cast Dig Through Time again, not only do I not have Frilled Mystic up then, but they could Mystic Dispute my Dig Through Time, which I'd like to avoid. Yep. So I need to find a Scarab God at this point. You want to dig plus Reclamation to dig again on end step. I don't know if I like that line. So I need to leave my flying creatures in the bin here, so that way I can... So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can't Scarab God and activate it this turn regardless. So I think I just leave max creatures in my bin. Wow, that's unlucky. I mean, I guess Reclamation is fine. They have 3.5 minutes left. I have 7 minutes. It's been a genuinely long match, but like... Oh, I can't use Scarab God because of Spyglass. Yeah, that's a good point. Forgot about that. So, the only reason I Brazen Borrower there was because my opponent was auto-passing because they're low on time. So, the reason why I did that like I did there was because I got an indication from Magic Online when I cast the intervention that my opponent was auto-passing. Well, that. Yep, card's pretty good against us. So there's 3 Scarab Gods in my deck. If we draw one, we're in a great spot here. Frilled Mystic, sure. This is other instant sorcery spells you control can't be countered. So I can still counter their other thing, right? And this is only a 3-turn clock, and it can be jump blocked. And, like, I don't think I bottomed Scarab God at any point. Huh. That's unfortunate. I think I gotta counter that, because cut Scarab God off as an out. Oh, yeah, that's true. They're just dead, right? Sick. I forgot we did so much damage to them earlier this game. I forgot we put them so low. I was like worrying about their clock and like worrying about staying alive and like it just like completely forgotten that like we had put them to 2. All right, and then I have 7 minutes. They have 2.5. They likely can't win for me. Yes, they have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to win a whole game. I have 6 minutes to not lose. That was game 2. They just F6 their first turn. So I'm not reading too much chat right now, just I'm currently just like trying not to fall behind on clock while this happens. They might just concede seeing our hand here, honestly. So I get to Abrupt Decay this, play Scarab God, and then like have Mystic Dispute up here still. Honestly, our start's pretty good here, even if they weren't losing to the clock. I suppose they could dispute me. I dispute them back, they untap, they play Teferi, they could be okay. Morning, Dubber. Sure. Still a 5/5. I should auto yield to this. Yeah, they're just dead. Activate Stone Rain you. Go. And even if they had targeted a not Lumbering Falls land there, we would have just cycled Nimble Obstructionist and Stone Rain them. I mean, to be fair, some of my, like, while the clock kind of didn't matter there, like, some of my opponent's decisions in that game were, like, almost certainly pressured by the fact that they were down on clock, so I think saying it was irrelevant is not really accurate. But we didn't win by the clock, but I think it helped us in our way to get there. Casual 50-minute match one, though, by the way. Yeah, like in the second game, me being able to bounce their trawler was related to the fact that they were trying to go fast. I wonder how this matchup goes. I feel like this matchup's probably okay for us. It'd be better for us if we were on the play, obviously, but I have Growth Spiral here, so it's not too terrible. We'll get to Reclamation and untap our lands. Really need to just find a threat. Hey, Thomas, thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate the 7 months. Welcome back. Hey, perfect. Disruption and a threat? Don't mind if it does. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Hey, congrats on closing, Genova Witness. I think I'm drawing 2 here. Like, man has a lot of counterspells in it. Well then. I think I'm actually gonna take the Fatal Push here, because in the event that they draw like an Arboreal Grazer, Fatal Push is Time Walk, and like having a 7th land's like not a huge deal, I don't think. It might be famous last words. Excited to get stuck on land drops here sometime soon. And like lose a critical turn because we didn't have enough mana. Alright, let's double the clock. I guess not having quad blue here is a big deal. I should have taken the 4th blue source. Yeah, that's what I should have done. Not having quad blue here is a big deal. Yes, we can time walk the stage activation here, which is huge. And then hopefully they're just dead with me having counterspell next turn. So in response to this, I'm going to float a bunch of mana, because I expect them to activate the stage. So they just get to restage again next turn, but they're currently dead on board. So like they probably don't have time to do that. And like, if they cast their 5-mana spell here, we just counter it. Actually, I'm not going to show... I already showed them Thassa's Intervention. So I'm going to use that as my counter spell instead of showing them Sabotage. Howdy Silence. Yeah, I think Obstructionist is sweet. The pair of them have been very reasonable so far. It's quite possible we want more than 2. Very, very, very possible we want more than 2. These 4 out, these in. This is a Scavenging Ooze matchup, right? I think so. I think this is a Scarab God out matchup. That sounds correct. There are a lot of situations where killing their enchantment isn't good enough. So I think cutting the trophy is fine. Giving them a land is also kind of not great. you could maybe make an argument for Aether Gust being good here, but I'm not sure that Aether Gust is like better than any of these things that are in my deck right now. So like if I wanted to fit Aether Gust into my deck, like what am I cutting would be the question. You could maybe make the argument that I'm cutting Scarab God and I'm going to be on the draw this game, so I could be greedy and cut a land. I don't hate that. Like I'm cutting most of my black cards here, so I can just like cut a Fetid Pool and like board in an Aether Gust. I think that's fine. I think seeing like one Aether Gust per game is probably reasonable. I actually think like boarding out a land when you pull your curve down is something people don't do often enough. Especially when you're on the draw too, so like you get to see more cards and have more chances to hit your land drops. Like I lowered my curve and I'm on the draw. I think cutting a land here is fine. So, I think comparing adventure cards to Obstructionist doesn't really make sense in a lot of ways, because the Obstructionist, you're choosing one mode or the other, whereas adventures, you generally speaking get both modes, and I think that's a really important distinction between the two. So like with Obstructionist, you're either choosing choosing to stifle something or get a threat. With adventure cards, you get the threat and you get to do the thing. Oh, that's cheeky. I like it. For Legacy, Jeskai Breach. Sounds good, Fox. Thanks for the biddies. Very, very soon, the Moto decks will have a much faster turnaround once I'm through my backlog. I do have a little bit of a Pioneer backlog still. So, I believe we're looking at like a week, 2-week wait for the $50 submission, but hopefully we'll get that down to under a week once we clear that out. If it's all, I guess that's fair. Do people think they'll ban Breach and Legacy? There's no way, right? Could they ban Breach and Legacy? Seriously? I haven't touched the format in a while. It's better than Yogg-Will. I mean, I believe you. It's better than Yogg-Will would be in Pioneer and Standard. I mean, we'll find out, right? And if it does get banned, Fox can add something else with their bits. It'll be okay. Should have scryed there at the end of turn, obviously. Punted. We drew a good card. No Justice Stream. It can kill turn 2 through Disruption. Yeah, sounds like Legacy. Like, there are a lot of Legacy decks that kill turn 2 through Disruption. Mystic Dispute is starting to draw dead, so I'm just going to go ahead and spend this now. Had 3 out of the 8 decks being breached. Yeah, I mean, like, that's happened in Legacy before, though. I think I'm going to try and keep them off Lotus Field here. Is my plan. Turn 2 combo deck that plays Force of Will and Orange Chat. I mean, Sneak and Show plays Force of Will, and like Reanimator plays what's it called? The silly card you reveal it, and they don't get it. They can't cast a spell unless they pay 1. Like Legacy. I feel like a lot of people have like they kind of like what the reality of Legacy is like while like Legacy is a format where the 2 extremes. It has just both the extremes of Magic. Like, Legacy has a ton of really long, deep, interesting games, but, like, it's also home to the most, like, complete non-games of Magic where one player never takes a turn. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I like sweet, long, interactive games, but, like, in order to get to those games in Legacy, you also have to, like, take your lumps and just get killed. in a number of matches as well. Like, even when you're playing, like, the Force Thoughtseize deck, like, you don't always have Force, and you don't always have Thoughtseize. And, like, sometimes you have the Force or Thoughtseize, and their deck just, like, kills you through it. Hey, chat, can we appreciate how much better this Aether Gust is than a land tier? We just, like, stop and take a moment, marvel at my genius. I did, in the land's defense, I did cut a Psycho land, so, like, you know, it wouldn't have been all bad there, but yes, my opponent has 2 Thespian stages in play currently. I mean, yeah, we kind of dismantled them this match, huh? We just devoured them. We're just like peak annoying flash deck. We like played a threat, and then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 counter spells, and like I have another disruption spell and a Abrupt Decay here as well. I mean, like, I'd feel bad for them if they weren't like playing Breach combo, right? Like, when you show up with the Breach deck, like, you get what you deserve. Listen. Brian Ruther, thanks for the 45 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Why did we want Gust there? Because one of the ways they actually win the game is by getting Underworld Breach into play. And that keeps Underworld Breach out of play. Because, like, they're so low on life total, just, like, time walking them seems fine. Oh, Dead Guy Ale. As someone who's registered, gosh, you know what card I want for Historic? Actually, I know what the answer is. People keep asking me what cards I want for Historic, and I'm developing a list. Can we please, Wizards of the Coast, if someone there secretly loves me, you don't have to tell people it's for me, but it can be for me. I want 4-mana Kaya in Historic. She is quite possibly the sweetest Planeswalker design that exists, and it's really, really sad that she's only Legacy legal. It's just so incredibly sad. I love her design. She's a Planeswalker that only ticks down, and she blinks herself to reset her loyalty. I don't even know what her name is. I just know that she's like 4-mana Kaya that's only Legacy legal. And she's not even busted. She's just like sweet. Like the design of her card is just phenomenal. I think I keep this and then lead on Breeding Pool and plan to cycle the Fetid Pools here. Yeah, Kaya goes to Assassin. That's the one. Yeah, the design is just really elegant. It's just like very different than all the other Planeswalkers out there while also being playable. It's a sweet fair card. Is she from the Monarch format? I think so. I think she's from like Conspiracy or something like that. Yeah, I was hoping they would just print her into Standard too. No, it was 4-mana Kaya was printed into a direct to Legacy set. So it wasn't banned in Modern, it was just in a set that wasn't. It was printed after Modern became a thing, but it was into a set that where those cards aren't Modern legal. All right, likely Inverter. So we're going to lose Sabotage here, almost assuredly. We'll cycle the Fetid Pools. Abrupt Decay, basically just a dead card in this matchup, unfortunately. She was in Conspiracy. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's not terrible. It's a good pickup too. This is a threat at least. We can start pressuring them. I think I'm just gonna cast this. I think it's like if I like they're probably thought erasuring my counter anyways. So like I might as well just like let them see my hand, take my counter, and then put my threat into play and start killing them sooner. They might take the Reclamation here, I guess, depending on like what the rest of their hand looks like, but I think I'm also okay with that. Like, again, you don't beat the combo decks by just having endless disruption. You beat them by having pressure with your disruption. And as this opponent is clearly exemplifying here, their combo deck is very good because it gets to play a ton of incredibly efficient disruption. Yeah, I mean, like, it kind of slows down their Oracle wins, kind of, depending on, like, what... It depends on, like, what their setup is like. How sad is it that, like, I wanted to tweet an image of Kaya Ghost Assassin, so I went to the Gatherer just out of happenstance, and then I remembered that the images on the Gatherer are super low resolution, so then I have to open up Scryfall, go to the third-party website to get a high-resolution card image. So, I think we just draw 2 here. Is that crazy? I feel like that's not crazy. People say, it's so hard to break old habits. I was tweeting a picture of Kaya. Sure. Sure, feels bad, man, but is what it is. Frilled Mystic is phenomenal. Well, you know. I technically should have left black up here so I could Fatal Push if they play a 2-drop. You know. Sometimes punished. We'll shock this in so we can Castle Vantress if they don't, actually we're just Castle Vantressing regardless, right? Because I don't have anything else to do. Yep, and again, like, this is why their deck is so busted, because Inverter comes down and is a brick wall, and Inverter shuffles this Thassa's Oracle back into their deck, but it also shuffles discard spell, discard spell, discard spell back into their deck. Just really, really incredible highlighting of just how resilient the opponent's archetype is to disruption. While their combo is slower than something like Cat Combo, its ability to play through what the opponent is doing to try and stop it is way more powerful. Just like night and day different. OP's deck is easier Doomsday. By easier Doomsday, you mean it's good Doomsday? Yes, I agree with you. Doomsday is bad and the opponent's deck is good. Is an apt comparison. Huh. Do I take Borrower and plan to just bounce this? Or would I rather trophy it? Is it crazy to borrow? I feel like it's not crazy to Borrower. Because, like, their graveyard's empty, and, like, I have Push and Decay to kill an Oracle. I guess I get into trouble if they have Jace, kinda? Kinda, maybe? Yeah, maybe taking Dig is silly. That's aggressive. What if I dig through time? Is that good? I think that's good. I guess if I dig through time, I can't bounce with Borrower and play Borrower, which is bad, so I'll just pass. And they missed their land drop last turn, right? So I should say Petty Theft this in response. Actually, I should Petty Theft this in response, right? Yeah, that's the play. I guess if they have Thassa's Oracle, I lose now. Maybe I am supposed to bounce Jason response here. I lose to Thassa's Oracle. Because they can Jace, mill 2, draw a card, and then they can Oracle. I kill Oracle in response, they still have 3 Devotion. So I'm like gambling that they didn't redraw their Oracle yet. Well, I can't keep the bounce, worst neighbor. I have to bounce something in response to a discard spell, otherwise they're taking the Borrower. So like, bouncing nothing there is not an option. Now, whether or not we're supposed to bounce the Jace to play around the Oracle potentially is up for discussion, but I definitely have to play Petty Theft there. Yep, and then again, I elected not to bounce this, so we lose the game here, right? Because even when I kill this, they still have Devotion 3 and they have 3 cards in their deck. So again, really, really excellent highlighting of how good the opponent's archetype is here. It's good. It's good. I had way too much fun playing the first 2 games in this set, so like getting grounded back down to reality, being reminded like what Pioneer actually is good. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Something about lose yourself in the Pioneer. The inverters will never let us go. We only get one shot tonight. There's a breach to grow. This opportunity comes once in a match time. Yeah, the opponent's like archetype also has like a very reasonable fallback mid-range plan too. Like you actually could probably argue I'm supposed to leave some Fatal Pushes and Abrupt Decays in here because like they're probably boarding in Pack Rats. In fact, these Negates are probably just not good. I'm gonna leave these Fatal Pushes in. Yeah, that's because nah, I think Ritual of Soot's too reactive. It's too much mana if we tap out for that. The Rap re-earned my prime. What's going on at Trapologic? Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one. I like to play Kaya in a Croxa deck. Yeah, sounds great. I mean, Kaya is just a sweet card. We go in a lot of sweet mid-range decks. Kaya is like exactly the type of card that like goes into the Kaya is the type of card that like goes into the decks that you want to be good. We'll be switching over to Magic Arena in about 30 to 45 minutes at most. Had a late start for the stream today because the power company had to turn the power off in my area for an hour this morning, hour and a half. Normally Moto doesn't go this late. Isn't Magic fun? Magic's not about casting your spells. It's about having your spells get taken by discard spells. I'm curious to see if I still end up filling 5 decks per week at the higher submission price for Moto. I think if we fail to pull in that many, I'm probably going to cut Moto stuff down to 3 days a week. As long as Historic's good, but we'll see. I've got a bit of a backlog still, so even if it does, submissions do slow down a good bit. I think with opening it up to more formats, we'll probably still fill 5 days a week, taking Modern and Legacy as well. Had a Legacy submission and a few Moderns already since I opened those back up. I wouldn't be the saddest, just like do more Historic though. There's currently more Historic decks in the queue than any other format. Twice as many Historic as I do Standard, so, you know, non-rotating formats are great and Arena's great. Ooh, that's a cute one. So if we get a game 3, I'm going to elect to board out my Fatal Pushes and bring my Decays back in. I was expecting Pack Rat as their threat out of the sideboard, but Thief of Sanity means Abrupt Decay is better than Fatal Push, I think. Worth noting that I'm currently missing my second green, so Frilled Mystic is generally one of our better draws in a position like this, but I need to hit a land before we can have that be a good draw. Do I draw 2 in response? I think I just draw 2 in response. So like rather than let you take my divination, cast it. So I assume we'll lose Nimble Obstructionist here, but that's fine. I have a couple of mystery cards. It could be anything, chat. I love me a good old-fashioned Thoughtseize bug. Don't you love you a good old-fashioned Thoughtseize bug, chat? It's a true delight. Where does green mana? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Whoa, 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 ho, 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 ho. Do. Don't dispute me back, bro. Don't do it. Have a heart. Could do this at end of turn, but like, oh, I messed up there. I exiled a creature by a misclick. I think I take Frilled Mystic rather than Scarab God in this situation. But like, I should have left the creature for like the next Scarab God. We're gonna end Step Obstructionist here if they don't give us anything to Frilled Mystic. Just want to start trying to end the game. Oh, do they draw Dig? That's unfortunate. That's super unfortunate. Maybe I should have played this on my turn so I could hold up Frilled Mystic still. Yeah, I could have just cast this main phase. That was probably correct. So, pretty unlikely to die anytime soon. If they had a good string of disruption and threats, we could be in trouble, but... like, when they Thoughtseize me here, and then they immediately follow it up with an Inverter, you know? It's just like how the magic works. I'm all alone, there's no one here beside me. Do 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 do. Alright, so listen up, here's the story about a little guy that lives in the inverter world, and all day and all night and everything he sees is just thought seized away from him inside and outside. Do 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 do. Trying to just look for 6 here. Well, that's not too terrible. It's not too terrible. Have you seen my Schrodinger's hand theory? I've not, Marty. So I've got multiple pieces of disruption here. If they didn't already have Oracle in their hand, we should be good to go. I think we have a good shot at winning this game, because our hand is stacked. Your move, Yugi boy. This is all I got. This might be a concession, Thoughtseize. He's just trying to drive numbers to his social media, Tehidra. Come on now. Cut him some slack. The yak lives! Thank you for the support, I appreciate it. So they're targeting me, right? That's what the hat on my thing is. Activates the ability targeting Jeff Hoagland. Sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and trophy this and then attack Jace. I'm dead. I'm dead to Oracle still, right? Like if they have Oracle, I lose still because they're gonna go down to 1 card in deck next turn. Or down to 0 cards. That's kind of unreal. Like they had 1 card in their hand when they inverted. So like they didn't have an Oracle in their bin, but they had 1 card we didn't know in their hand. So like their 1 card in hand could be inverter right now, or it could be Oracle. All right, sweet. So they're dead. They know about this petty theft. Unless their card's a negate, I guess. I think this Jace was the only card we didn't know, though. So they lose the game, so they go to draw a card, and they don't have a deck. Alright, yeah. So that giant tank on the Thoughtseize was because they couldn't win. Confirmed. I'm gonna trim a Scarab God and trim a Fatal Push here. I'm gonna bring back in the Abrupt Decays. I kind of want these negates, huh? Is it possible that I'm just supposed to cut Scarab God in this matchup? Is that crazy? Hey, Mr. Maple Syrup. Hope you feel better soon. I got on to 1. I'm gonna cut a land again. YOLO. It worked out. Cutting a land worked out last time, right? So that means it'll work out again. Hey, Scorpio Death Drop. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday wherever you're at. Welcome to the weekend, folks. For those of you who are just tuning in and wondering why there's a spreadsheet up on your screen, we started a little bit late today, so normally my Magic Online segment is very, very early in the morning. It's running a little bit later today because I've only been live for about an hour and a half. We're going to finish this matchup and then play one more with this deck, and then we're going to roll on into some historic on Magic Arena. Obviously, this negate would have been the Fetid Pool, and then we would have had a 2-lander we could keep. I'm doing my taxes on stream for your entertainment. Exactly, you get it. This is our third match. Yep. Yeah, the first match was against Blue-White Control, and it took us 48 minutes to win. Magic Online gives players way too much time on their clock. Our deck's kind of slow. The first opponent's deck was also kind of slow. Yeah, I think this deck's fine. Last time we played this deck, it was fun, so we took it again. Yeah, Arena gives you even more. Arena's pretty at least, yeah. When the Arena, like, even when your opponent's taking a long time, it often feels faster than it is in my experience. Gosh, they really hate our dig-through times, chat. They really hate our dig-through times. Lumbering Falls is the perfect land to Growth Spiral into play here. Then we'll get to hold up Frilled Boy / Brazen Borrower next turn. Sounds great. He says before he gets thought erasured again. That's true. You have a pet. You have a pet to click on. It's all about the little things, chat. What kind of deck would you play? Ryan? A mid-range deck. A crappy interactive mid-range deck. The types of decks Magic players love to play. Crappy interactive mid-range. Your pet's covered by a deck tracker. That's so sad for your pet. Back in my day, we didn't have computers that could do that for us. You had to, like, walk uphill in the snow both ways and, like, pull your extensive sideboard guide out of your bag. You had to just remember what cards you registered. I'm gonna cast this in response. It's like, let them pick between my 2 counter spells to take one. Alright, so we're just hoping to draw an untapped land here. Yeah, that'll do, pig. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Yikes. Yikes. You hate to see it. Alright, well, we're going to cycle this to protect our thing. Draw a card. It's better to cycle this than to play it out because cycling draws a card. And then we had 2 chances to hit a land there, and we missed, unfortunately. It is what it is what it is. Had we hit the untapped land, we would have been able to activate Lumbering Falls and then kill Liliana the last hope, but alas, we are unlucky. Yep. If they don't give me something to Frilled Boy here, I'm going to draw 2 with Thassa's Intervention. Looking for a land here so we can fire this up and kill their Liliana. Liliana quite good against us. A lot of our threats are X1s. dig through time here. I'm gonna try and find a dispute to counter my thing. Man, that was like 6 busted planeswalkers ago, Marty. Ain't nobody got time for that. So, gotta put the shields down for a turn here, but I think it's important to take the Liliana off the table before she runs away with things. Next turn, I'll have Negate plus Frilled Mystic up. We got that going for us. The good news is they don't have any discard spells in their bin, so they like jam Inverter here. They're not flipping a bunch of Disruption into their deck, at least. He says before his opponent plays a Thought Siege and then a land and an Inverter. Just the Jace. Sure. Hey, they milled 2 lands off the top of our deck. Good beats. Gosh, man, they should really look into this whole issue with Thoughtseize. They should really look into this whole issue with Thoughtseizes. I guess maybe that's a balancing mechanic. Like, Thoughtseize is a really busted card, so like they balance it out by letting you always redraw the card they take with it. That's probably a fair power level errata. See if they have a dispute here or not. Nope. Bye, Felicia. And then next turn I get to shock in this Breeding Pool, attack down their Jace, and then still hold Negate up. They get to draw another card with their Jace here. But, you know. That'll be a play for next turn. Need to take their Planeswalker out because it's a combo piece. Even if we attack them, they're not dead next turn, so definitely want to kill the Jace. Gonna negate this because if we negate it, they don't get to surveil at least. Hey, Matt, thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Well, you know, it's a pretty good rip. I don't know. I think in a world with, like, Embercleave and the other good blue-white cards they printed, necessarily Who Shakes the World is, like, pretty reasonable. Like, everything, as with everything, context is key. So, Thief of Sanity here gets to hit us. They take one of the top 3 cards of our deck, which is pretty scary, but it is what it is. Good chance they find counter spells. We have a lot of those. Elf King, thanks for the 20 months of support. It's a long time. Welcome back. Play something worth countering, please. Yeah, I don't really care for them either, Bob. I think the artwork on them looks nice, but they just, like, don't look like Magic cards, in my opinion. I think they just look incredibly out of place. Okay, I mean, if we get to... Like, they have 10 cards in their bin here. Wow, that's unfortunate. So they have 10 cards in their bin, so we're pretty unlikely to just get comboed out this game, but good chance that they like grind us out with this Thief of Sanity. I don't know. It's so weird to me. People always, whenever I talk about how cards look on the computer, they're like, it looks better in paper. I have never once seen a card digitally and then someone's like, it looks better in paper, and then seen it in paper and been like, yeah, wow, that looks better in paper. Like, never once. Maybe people just have a hard time visualizing what something's supposed to look like in paper compared to what it looks like on the computer, but I think the invocations look arguably worse in paper because they're illegible in paper. They don't look like they're written in English in paper. Thanks for the 27 months, Furious Squirrel. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm playing this out aggressively because they're at 7 and their graveyard's full. So, like, unless they have dig through time, we have a very low chance of dying next turn. Which obviously means they're about to, like, dig through time and then, like, kill us next turn. But I think it's right to just put an incredible amount of pressure into play here. Counterspell is actually the best draw in our deck. Do I think one counterspell is probably enough here, right? Am I supposed to just hold up one counterspell here, or am I supposed to, like, intervention, look at 5 cards and try and find 2? I have 7 mana total. I could intervention, look at 6 cards, trying to find 2 pieces of interaction. They bottomed with their opt last turn. How many other counters do we still have? That's a good question. So I have 2 Assassin's Trophies, which are basically interaction. So I have 2 trophies, 1 Frilled Mystic, 1 other intervention, 1 other sabotage. So 2 trophies, Frilled Mystic, 1 other intervention, 1 other sabotage. Brazen Borrower is kind of interaction. There's like 2 of those. Abrupt Decay is kind of interaction. So like there's 32 cards. I've got like 12-ish cards. So like let's make this decision with math. Let's eyeball it and say that there's 32 cards in my deck. Let's say there's like 13 cards that are interactive in there that are meaningful. And I can look at 6 of them. What are the odds we have two of them? We're 80%, assuming we have 13 cards that are considered interaction, we're 80% to find 2 of them. And what are the odds we find 1 of them? We're 97% to find 1. So, like, we're 97% to be in the same situation we're in now, which is 1 piece of interaction. And we're 80% to be in a better position with 2 pieces of interaction. And so, like, we're at like a 3% failure rate. I think that's appropriate. I think that means I'm supposed to go for it. It's not even about greed, chat. Like, it's about like what we just went through there. It's a calculated risk. Like, it's not a guarantee. I don't think it's greedy. Like, I want to like say, okay, is this the right decision? Why? Let's talk through it. Okay, and we found Trophy and Dispute, which are 2 of the pieces of interaction we're talking about. If you're not familiar with that calculator I just pulled up, it's what's referred to as a hyper geometric distribution calculator. It's a probability distribution that'll help you figure out what the odds are of doing particular things. So again, we were 4/5 or about a little over 80% to hit 2 pieces of interaction there, based on our deck size and the cards available still in it. And we're 97% to hit at least 1 piece of interaction and be in a similar spot. Yeah, I think this deck's a lot of fun. I think I'm gonna throw this one up on the website. I think even if they ban stuff on Monday, this deck's probably still playable. Last time we played this deck, I think we went 2-3 with it, and we still had like a blast doing it. It's just I like this style of deck. Frilled Mystic is like a sweet card. So Marty, I want to be a hipster though. I don't want to play Frilled Mystic when it's in the best deck, right? Like Frilled Mystic's not sweet when it's in the best deck. When Frilled Mystic's in like my B-list tier 3 deck here, it's great. I think I just let this resolve, right? Just like, yeah, that's fine. Tuck Teferi gets you the Teferi timer. So then they need a removal spell and a counter spell here. Sweet. Are we 3-0? Yeah, look at that. Undefeated. So, unfortunately, we are not going to finish this league. I try to keep to a pretty tight schedule here, and playing those 3 matches took almost an hour and 45 minutes. So, I'm going to go ahead and call it quits there on this one. I don't know that I really have any changes to suggest to the deck. So, we played this deck once before, so if you want to see more matches with something pretty close to this, you can find it up on my YouTube channel, my website, if you scroll back in the Pioneer section. I went back, before I put this deck together last night, I went back and listened to what Past Jeff had to say and made the changes Past Jeff suggested, and good golly was Past Jeff smart. So, deck seemed reasonable. I liked all the cards that we're playing. I don't think I'd change anything after the set that we played there today. If you want a deck that's kind of sweet, and this deck feels genuinely reasonable against these combo decks in the format. Like, this is a deck that has counter spells plus a clock. That style of disruption plus pressure tends to be good against combo decks. We thoroughly devoured the Breach deck. We just won that close set against the Inverter deck. So, at any rate, we're going to roll on into some Bant enchantments in Historic up next here. I'm going to hit a quick ad roll while I get set up for that. When we return, we'll be playing some video games with some Bant enchantments. Be back in just a few, folks. Thanks for hanging out today. That's not the real card back. Can you please change it to include purple? Lol. Man, chat, you know what the worst thing about my power being off this morning was? I lost my, like,